He had Caesar's army, Cleopatra's empire, and the loyalty of half the Roman world. But in the end, Mark Antony lost it all. Not because of weakness, but because of love, because of pride, and because of power that slipped through his fingers. This is the story of the man who could have ruled the world, but chased something else instead. Mark Antony was born in 83 BCE into a world of politics, warfare, and ambition. His family name carried weight, distantly tied to heroes, but scarred by scandal. His father had been a general, his mother a cousin of Julius Caesar. Rome at the time was a republic in name, but in reality it was already being torn apart by the ambitions of men who believed they could shape history with their swords. Antony grew up watching power shift violently, from the Senate to the generals, from law to force. He was wild in his youth, known for drinking, gambling affairs, but beneath the recklessness was something sharper: charisma, courage, and an unshakable instinct for leadership. He joined the military and quickly made a name for himself in the East, serving under Aulus Gabinius in Syria. Then he met Caesar, and everything changed. Julius Caesar saw in Antony a kindred spirit, bold, ruthless, utterly loyal. Antony became more than a soldier. He became Caesar's shadow, his right hand, his voice in Rome when Caesar went to war, his blade when words failed. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon in 49 BCE, defying the Senate and launching a civil war, it was Antony who commanded the cavalry that cleared his path. It was Antony who delivered Caesar's demands. And it was Antony who stood by him through every campaign that followed. Together they brought down Pompey the Great. Together they broke the old republic's resistance. And together they ruled, but not for long. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated, stabbed 23 times by senators who claimed to be saving the republic, but were really trying to save their own power. Antony was devastated and furious. He seized Caesar's papers, blocked the conspirators from taking power, and gave the most famous funeral oration in Roman history, holding up Caesar's bloody cloak, showing the stab wounds and igniting the crowd into a frenzy. It was Antony who turned Caesar's death into a political weapon, but he was not the only one. Enter Octavian, Caesar's 18-year-old grandnephew. Quiet, measured, dangerous. Caesar had adopted him in secret, naming him heir. And while Antony dismissed the boy at first, Octavian was already moving behind the scenes, rallying troops, gathering allies, and positioning himself as Caesar's rightful successor. Rome wasn't big enough for both of them, but neither was strong enough to rule alone. So they made a deal. In 43 BCE, Antony, Octavian, and Lepidus, an older general, formed the Second Triumvirate, a legal dictatorship with one goal: avenge Caesar and secure control. They launched a brutal purge. Enemies of the triumvirate were executed without trial. One of the first was Cicero, the greatest orator in Rome and a vocal critic of Antony. They hunted down Caesar's assassins, Brutus and Cassius, and defeated them at the Battle of Philippi in 42 BCE. With that, the Republic was effectively dead, but so was the alliance. The Roman world was split. Octavian took the west, Antony the east. Lepidus faded into irrelevance. And in the east, Antony met her, Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, goddess of the Nile, last of the pharaohs. She had once seduced Julius Caesar, not just with beauty, but with brilliance. Now she saw in Antony the same thing, a Roman conqueror who could secure her throne and expand her power. And Antony, he saw a partner, a lover, a queen. Their affair was passionate, and political. Antony needed Egypt's wealth and ships. Cleopatra needed a Roman protector. Together they dreamed of a new world order, not ruled from Rome, but from Alexandria. But back in Rome, Octavian was watching and planning. He unleashed a masterstroke of propaganda accusing Antony of betraying his Roman identity, claiming Cleopatra had bewitched him, that he wore Greek robes, drank like a god, and abandoned his Roman wife, Octavian's sister. It worked. The Senate turned. The public grew uneasy. And when Antony declared Caesarion, Cleopatra's son by Caesar, as the true heir, Octavian declared war, not on Antony, but on Cleopatra. It was brilliant. A Roman civil war dressed as a foreign invasion. The final showdown came in 31 BCE, the Battle of Actium, a naval engagement off the coast of Greece. Antony and Cleopatra commanded a massive fleet, but Octavian had something they didn't, a genius tactician named Agrippa. Agrippa outmaneuvered them, cut off their supplies, and pinned their fleet against the coast. The battle was chaos. Cleopatra's ships suddenly broke formation and fled. Antony, torn between duty and devotion, followed her. His fleet collapsed. His army surrendered. The war was lost. They returned to Egypt, defeated, disgraced, and surrounded. Octavian followed, but he didn't storm Alexandria immediately. He let them unravel. Antony's allies abandoned him. His troops defected, and then came the false news. Cleopatra was dead. Antony, overcome with grief, fell on his sword. He didn't die immediately. He lingered, bleeding in agony, until Cleopatra, very much alive, came to him and held him as he died. Days later, she joined him. The method is legend. Venomous acid smuggled in a basket of figs pressed to her breast. But no one knows for sure. What we do know is this. Octavian entered the city, took their children, executed Caesarion, and claimed Egypt for Rome. Then he returned home crowned, not by the Senate, but by silence, and took a new name, Augustus, Rome's first emperor. The Republic was over. The empire had begun, and Mark Antony became a cautionary tale. But should he have? Antony wasn't just a man undone by love. He was a product of civil war, of betrayal and ambition, of a Rome that devoured its own heroes. He fought for Caesar. He tried to avenge him. And he built a life for the woman who ruled one of the greatest civilizations on earth. Was that so different from what Octavian did? Or was Antony simply worse at playing the game? History is written by the victors. Octavian lived, he ruled, he shaped the narrative. And in that version, Antony was a lovesick fool and Cleopatra a seductress queen. But another version exists, one where Antony stood against a tyrant, where he loved without apology, and where his downfall wasn't weakness, but refusal to become what Octavian was, a god in a mortal's disguise. So now we ask, what if Antony had won? Would Rome have become something different, a fusion of East and West, a multicultural empire ruled from Alexandria instead of Rome? Would history remember him not as the man who lost everything, but the one who built something new? We'll never know, because Mark Antony chased power through passion and lost both. But for a moment, just a moment, he had the world in his hands. And that might be the most Roman tragedy of all.